I mean, appreciate y'all for, recognizing that or whatever. You know, like I look at humility as something that we don't owe each other. You owe yourself humility. Like, so, I don't look at niggas who having to be humble to me. I'm not who you owe that to. And so, when we get verbose and we get, roasting and shit on each other, that's just competition. But, like my spirit is, very in awe of what I've been able to uh, bring forth out of this vessel, bro. This is my dream, and it's the dream of my ancestors for me to do this. And I know that for a fact. But I want to say to hear that, back when Keenan Ivory Wayne started in Living Color, they didn't know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was something that was the same, but it was different. And it was our shit and it was our way. And sometimes like this, what you've been able to do in this time when we don't have the ability to connect on a set and safely, because we got families and we want to, what I'm saying, like, people is like Takara said, we all losing people right now. But what you created is a bridge between that and like premium entertainment. Like, bro, you had some of our favorite comedians on this show, and this is like the Tonight Show mixed with, just a radio show. This is damn near Howard Stern. Like, bro, you are creating something that is you creating a whole new staple. It's like you printing the sheet, then you stapling them bitches. It's like all of it was you. You know what I'm saying? So, like for what it's done for raising awareness, I was afraid at a time in my career that I would get stuck being a writer. I would get stuck behind the scenes because, it was just like, I gotta eat, bro. So I'm gonna just keep selling these ideas, and that's what it's gonna be. And nobody might know me. They might not never know me. You know what I'm saying? And so, shit like this and you giving niggas the motivation to shift their focus. Like, bro, since this shit been rolling, and then I got the roast this podcast with the fellas that we do. It's like, my nigga, we have not missed a beat. Like, and then we open the gate for everybody else. It's like, nigga, this shit look like a bunch of ants just in a line, nigga, and we just helping each other and just carrying shit. And it's like, I was telling Kev this morning, like, bro, our class right now, this might be one of the most important classes in comedy. Like, not because of how funny we are, but because of how resilient we had to be and what we had to do it through. Nigga, this is like the 2003 NBA class. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, there's a shift in comedy and somebody got to carry it to this next plateau. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's just, this shit is an honor, bro. It's an honor, man. Like, somebody, I read a meme that said like 2020 was actually the best year of your life because you saw so many tragedies, you saw so many setbacks, and you proved to yourself who you were. We coming out of this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, think about it, man. I was so scared to lose my granddad my whole life. I used to just like get sad and think about shit. Like, I was a weirdo. Like, I used to make sad ass, best man holiday ass movies in my head with like, I'm at my parents' funeral or some weird shit like that.
Trying to prep yourself.
I was never ready to do that. And we got a real small family. And when that happened, it was like, man, I was trapped in the house and on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, man, I didn't know how I was gonna be on the other side of that. That's like some man shit, bro. Like, I got one of them families where anybody died in a long ass time. And then now it's just like, this shit is, it's just amping it up. So, I'm learning a lot about myself this year. And so my comedy is getting more honest. And I'm able to, what I'm saying, trust what I want to say to people. I don't know where I'm going to end up being, bro, but I'm enjoying becoming something. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you for that, bro.
That's dope.
I know one thing. You ever step back and just like kind of observe what's happening in the space of like, I'm very interested in the idea of where, like, when it all kind of comes together, where we are, because like what Tahir knows, what Kev knows, what a lot of us knows that's in the trenches, we know what's real. We know who the hilarious people are. We know what's a facade. We know who the talented people are. Not saying that other people are not or whatever, but sometimes this business or this industry will have you feeling like you're less than, and then you'll be in a position and you'll start, you be feeling over like qualified. You be like, man, this is weird. I know I'm not going crazy, but for whatever reason, I'm watching this. When you put the clip up, I was like, this is amazing. I didn't know about where it was. I didn't know about nothing else. All I know is your brain and Reggie Bo and you being allowed to filter these two things. I'm like, this is probably the best thing that's on most networks, period. So like now between our outlets, like with what Tahir's doing and being able to showcase different people and what you are creating and what Takara creating and her boo watching the show and she over here giggling to herself because she can't, because the nigga's excited. Like all this is amazing. It's like I'm very, very, very interested for all the people that support, for all the people that watch. You're in the I'm not even talking about me. If you're rooting us on to hope that we get whatever you want us to get, it'll probably be that and then some, because we ain't really got a choice. Nobody's giving us anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're legit having to figure it out. It's like Dolomite is a great movie, and I love Keenan, but I love Tyler Perry. It's about 25 Tyler Perrys between our class, bro. It's a lot of us. It's a lot of us just, and we love each other. Like, man, I be sharing everything. Hey, man, go, yes, win. Like, you know what I mean?
I feel like every so often that happens. Like every 10 years ago, it was the same thing. The comics from 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I think it's 20 years, versus the comics now. We just had, this generation of comedy is just different. We've gone through more. We have listened to more. Our souls have cried, and we've had to make light of it for other people. Like, how difficult it is to be hurting and you go on stage and the only way to feel better is to go on stage. Right. And then that's taken from you. You have to figure it. It's so many more podcasts and shows, internet shows. And it's just like, it forced us to be more creative. And it also forced a lot of us to understand that it's okay for us to root for each other.
Right.
Because everybody keeps saying comedy is not a partner sport. Comedy is what sport did they say it was like?
It's a solo sport. They say it's a solo
sport.
It's golf. It's not basketball. Yeah.
But this generation has proven that it's not.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think of comedy as a solo sport because you're on stage by yourself. But even in basketball, you take that shot by yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When you're at the free throw line or you're at the 3-point line, you take that shot by, if it ain't three of y'all with your hands on the ball shooting it together, you take that shot by yourself, but you come back to a team. Like that's what I love about our class. That's what I love about the people on Zoom with the homies, is that we don't look at each other as competition. We look at each other as avenues for us all to move forward. Because I know if I need help writing this treatment or this pilot or something, I can hit up CP, I can hit up BT, I can hit up Sydney, I can hit up Tone Bell, I can hit up Takara. I got multiple outlets for me to double and triple check my shit before I submit it. And it's the same thing with them. If they need somebody to run lines with, they know, like I said, the reason CP was a couple minutes late was because he was running lines with Sydney on Sydney's pilot. Sydney hit me, but I had to start the show, so I couldn't do it. Right. BT, I've auditioned and for a couple of his screenplays, I was on his original content. Takara, I've done a number of shows with her. We've done this podcast together. We wrote together. Like, we reach out to each other and lean on each other, and we don't look at it like we are each other's competition to one spot only. Like there's one seat only, and I hate that our predecessors were somewhat pitted against each other to think like that. But Hollywood did that. But this pendulum shift right now has shown us that we can create our own outlets and our own networks and our own channels to get our content out, and then we can band together and make that shit even stronger. Like BT,
we got social media. Think about it. 20 years ago, my bad. I'm gonna say that 20 years ago, they didn't have social media, so there was no way to even see what was possible and see what other people were doing. And I think that, we have burst through the initial phase, which is that jealousy layer that social media could create, right? But I think that, what's special about this class is that we had to be so resilient. It's like we had to rise above that and be like, all right,
we the hybrids. We're the comics that were strong as comics, watched social media happen and didn't disdain it, just understood it was something you could manipulate in your favor if you work it. And we didn't start with social. We remember before, during, and after.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes us a little different, man.
My bad to hear.
No, you good. You good. I was just ringing that we all lean on each other. We don't look at each other like that. And I hate that our predecessors were kind of pitted against each other. Like we all embrace each other's successes and we champion each other when we do get those successes. So I just think it's a different time, and I'm thankful to be here, and I'm thankful to be able to share these successes with my brothers and sisters, my comrades in the trenches, and with this. So I'm super excited about it. But